Welcome to episode 110 of the Valley Sports Talk podcast. Um, as always, my name's Noah. I am one of your co-hosts, joined by my other co-host, Brandon. Brandon, how are you today on this lovely Wednesday evening?
We're starting off with some lag.
Oh, great start. Oh, way to
What's
start.
new?
We love this.
What's new? But
Um,
yeah,
how
we're
are you?
here. 110, that's crazy. We're flying by these episodes, eh?
No kidding. We were right. We told them last week that we were going to record on Wednesday because you're headed up to North Bay tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You got to do a bit of I guess renovations, right?
Yeah. You're also in a golf tournament tomorrow,
I'm in a
so
golf tournament, so yeah,
it would have
so
been pretty difficult.
it would have been a busy Thursday
Who's
to
your
try to film.
fourth?
Alan,
Okay. You, your dad, your uncle, and Al?
yeah,
Cool. Are you guys big shiny windows or
yeah, we are.
nice? Sweet. I guess
Um,
before we get into sports talk, last podcast, I normally wouldn't bring it up because it's not that important, but you said you were going to a Blue Jays game.
yes,
Um, The reason I'm bringing it up is because you almost saw a no-hitter.
yeah, I jinxed
So
it.
going to a game, I believe the final score was 3-1.
You'd be right.
The Blue Jays did a lot of their action in the first inning,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Angels hit a dinger in the ninth to ruin the no-hitter. So it was a relatively low-scoring game. Is a no-hitter fun to watch live because it means not a lot of action's happening, or what was the atmosphere like in the
So
arena
the no
or in the
hitter,
stadium?
the no hitter was obviously for the Jays. So I feel like whenever you're watching your own team post a no hitter, it's obviously very exciting. This is probably bad and maybe shows how sort of engaged I was, but I didn't realize that Bowden Francis was posting a no hitter until the top of the ninth inning, until he came back out. Because I went on, it was actually bad. I went on Twitter in between innings, like whenever in between the top of the nine. So it's like, okay, he's thrown 114 coming after the bottom of the eighth. He had thrown 114 pitches. So I was like, okay, no way, there's somebody in the bullpen warming up right now. And then I look on Twitter, and the very first thing I see is like a Jays beat reporter. He's like, Bowden Francis is 3 outs away from a no hitter. I was like, oh my God. Like I started talking, saying to everyone. And I said it to Liam, and Liam goes, no, shut up.
Very first hitter, right? It was a home run,
Yeah,
right?
Taylor Ward. He knew that Francis was posting a no hitter, and I started yapping to everyone that he was posting a no hitter, how rare it is, and because a lot of people I went with, they didn't majority of them had no idea about baseball, but like stuff that happens during baseball and stuff like that. They were just sort of there for the social aspect of it. But it was
Yeah.
crazy because I didn't realize. And then he got obviously a wicked standing ovation. Like it was friggin' loud in that state. Like it was pretty packed for a Saturday against a crappy team in the Angels. But whenever he got pulled off the mound and Chad Green came in like after that home run, it was a very loud ovation for him, which well deserved.
Yeah, definitely. And then we do have a lot of Canadian viewers, and maybe not a lot of them are going to Blue Jays games because they're not very good. I've only been to one, and I was like 12 years old, but I still sort of remember it. Can you just tell how much more interesting is a baseball game to watch live than on TV?
Oh,
It's night and day.
it's so much more interesting because it's unlike hockey games where like there's only like two major stoppages in between almost every inning or even half inning. They're doing it's like a minute 30 break, right? Because it's commercial.
Yeah.
They're doing like a mini game or they're like engaging the crowd with like some sort of song. And it's also just fun to see the atmosphere, like see what players do in between sort of pitches. You don't see that on TV. Um, Definitely baseball is one of the more boring sports to watch. I don't mind watching it, but watching it in person, you go more for the experience, the live experience, because it's actually pretty cool to be at a live baseball game.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I mean, again, it was 10 years ago, but I thought it was so much fun to watch live, and we're on TV. It's not the same, but yeah, cool experience. You almost saw a no hitter, and I feel like that's probably the most baseball talk we've done this year.
Definitely.
Uh, So not bad, pretty cool.
No, pretty good.
I guess if you want to keep throwing around sports, we can touch on hockey really quickly before we get to football.
Did something
Um,
happen that I missed?
yeah, right as we talked about it and posted our podcast, and Ask Rough trade did happen.
Oh yes, to the Sharks.
So
I was driving
uh
when it happened to Toronto.
I don't know if you got I don't have the trade pieces right in front of me, but
No, it was basically like a scar off a couple two prospects for like a third and a first. So basically, and the first was Vegas. It wasn't even like it was San Jose's.
yeah.
So basically, what San Jose did is they traded Hurdle and a third for a Scarf is what sort of if you look at it in that side of it, which I think is a win. And then they signed him to a 2-year extension. He wasn't even free. He wasn't even a free agent. He still had this year under contract.
Yeah, it was
So
like a
they have
two
him.
by two, right?
Yeah, 2 by 2.
Yeah,
So they
two
have
by
him this year making his league minimum 99.50 on his rookie deal, and then he makes 2 million next year and the following year. So bargain of a trade, bargain of a contract. I think this is honestly like the very first trade we've seen Barry Trotz lose since he's became the GM of the Nashville Predators.
But you know what? If at the same point though, like when a player comes out and announces they are requesting a trade, you are always like
Yeah,
nine times
you don't really
you're gonna
have
lose the trade.
yeah.
So considering he still did pretty well, he got a first, he got a pretty decent prospect, and just another young goalie in return. So I mean, all things considered, it wasn't terrible. But and I'll give you half a point because right on the podcast, right before the trade actually happened, you talked about him going to Montreal
Montreal was one of the
just
finalists.
be, but I'll give you the half point because you said Montreal because they're a young team that has a lot of prospects in the system and he can grow with them. And he basically did that just with San Jose instead of Montreal. San Jose's in the same spot as Montreal. They got a ton of young prospects with not really any good goalie prospects. Same thing as Montreal, basically. And now they got Askarov who can age with them and stick with that team. And so you basically had it, just wrong team. I'll
Yep.
give you half.
And to give me some more pats on the back,
I
Montreal
don't
was
want
one of the
to,
three teams that sort of was a finalist for him, they said.
yeah. So I mean, all around, you almost had her.
Hmm.
Give it to you.
You want to jump into some NFL hot takes?
I would. Do you want to do hot takes or do you want to do the voting first?
Let's do hot takes.
Okay, cool.
You
I
go
will.
first. You said you had a couple.
Okay. Um, my first hot take is that I don't know how much of a hot take it is, but we'll see. I think Jaden McDaniels is going to not only beat Caleb Williams in Rookie of the Year, but I think Washington will have a better record than Chicago.
Okay, I
That's
agree with the first half of that statement.
well, you got to be bold, right?
I do think I think Jaden Daniels is going to be the best quarterback from this draft class when it's all said and done. But I do still think that the Bears are too good of a team to have a worse record than the Commanders.
Yeah, like if I was putting money on it, I would put money on Chicago having a better record, but we got to go bold. And I feel like just saying Jaden McDaniels is going to beat him isn't really that bold. So, I mean, I'm just looking at the last four or five quarterbacks taken first overall. You have Bryce Young, his first year didn't go very well, obviously. Trevor Lawrence, his first year did not go very well. Joe Burrow's first year, he only had like 2 wins. Kyler had was just around 500, and Baker was also just around 500. Um, so first year number one quarterbacks normally don't do very well. I mean, I think Caleb Williams is in a different category just because his team's a lot better than a lot of those teams were. Normally, if you're the first pick, your team kind of sucks, which is different for Caleb Williams and the Bears. I think they're a lot better than a first pick would be, but
Well,
still,
yeah, they got that in a trade from Carolina, obviously. So yeah.
yeah, exactly. But there's a lot of pressure going number one. Um, and yeah, so I'm just gonna throw that one out there and see what happens. But I don't think it's Super Bowl to say um that Jaden McDaniels could win Rookie of the Year just because of the rushing upside he brings as well. But to make it bold, I'll say that Washington ends up with a better record than Chicago.
For my first, I guess, bold take, I think the Detroit Lions are the most complete team in the NFL. I think
Okay.
on paper that they are the best overall team based off looking at their offense and their defense. Don't really have anything to back it up, but I don't know, it's a bold take that I think that they're the on paper they're the most complete team in the NFL.
That is definitely a bold take. But the Detroit Lions, it's all about the defense, right? Their offense is it's definitely not that bold to say they have one of the if you said they have the best offense in the NFL. Jared Goff has really come into his own. He was good before the trade, but Detroit seems to have just boosted his career. They got a stacked wide receiver core. Their running backs, they got one of the best duos in the league, and obviously your tight end position is good too. It's all about their defense. They don't have the greatest defense. They got a pretty good D line, but their safeties and their cornerbacks aren't that great. They let up a lot of air yards per game, but we'll see if they can close that down this year.
For sure.
So we'll see.
You want me to go back
My
to back?
if you want another one, go ahead.
This is sort of a fantasy hot take, but Christian McCaffrey will not finish as a top 10 wide receiver.
Top 10 running
Receiver.
back?
Running back. Jeez.
That is very bold.
Christian McCaffrey is not gonna
Are you
finish as a,
saying are you
I'm
saying
saying
even if he's healthy?
right, yes.
Wow,
Right now ADP, he's probably the first overall pick based off the season he had last year.
I think so, yeah.
I don't think he'll finish as a top 10 running back.
You're obviously just saying that to be bold, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a
yeah, no,
bold take.
obviously that is a crazy take. Give a reason why. Back it
If
up.
you look at players taken the last
I have seen
6 years, number one overall, not a single one of them has finished top 15 in their position.
I have seen that.
So the trend's going to continue.
You think so?
I
Okay. I
think
mean,
so.
hey, you never know, right? Um, Especially with all the things, all the buzz that's going around San Fran right now. My next bold prediction is that I could see the Pats finishing with going 0 or 1 wins.
I don't
That's
think that's
pretty bold.
bold. I don't think that's bold.
Really?
I know. I
Zero
don't
wins?
think it's as bold as like
That's tough.
it's definitely a take, but I don't know if it's as bold as you one may think.
Okay, fair enough. I know their win-loss is 4.5, but zero wins is pretty hard. It's not done very often. But just through watching some preseason and stuff, this O-line is terrible. They're going to allow, I think, the most sacks this year. I don't think Drake May is going to play. I don't think it would be smart for him to play personally. I think he's just going to take tons of sacks. And that's obviously where you see quarterback injuries. I think Jacoby's going to start, and I think it would be smart to just have Drake May learn as a first year, and especially because the team's going to be bad and they're not going to be winning a ton of games. It wouldn't be good for his confidence. Plus, getting sacked 6 times a game isn't good on the body. So let Jacoby take that beating, and he's getting older. I don't know if he can sit there and take all those sacks. So you could see an injury here and there, and I don't know, stuff could go bad in New England. You could go to a third string partway through the season because of injury. And it's basically just this take is based on them having the worst O line, one of the worst O lines in the NFL, and just their quarterbacks taking tons of hits with not many wide receivers to dump it out to. It's basically Ramondre. So I
I
could see them as a win team.
I don't know if you saw, but Jacoby Brissett did get injured in their last place preseason game.
Yeah, I did see that. It sounds like he's gonna be back for week 1, I think.
Okay.
But that's basically where my take kind of started from when I heard that news and I watched some highlights and I was like, this O line is brutal.
Brutal.
So I feel like this might not be the only time a quarterback for New England gets hurt.
Fair enough. Okay, this is actually a pretty funny hot take for me.
Okay.
I think Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift will be broken up by the end of the year.
Damn, okay. Okay. You probably are on the minority there. I think a lot of people's takes could be that they propose this year.
Mhm. I think
But
it's
you
the opposite.
okay, here, another does a song get made out of it?
Of course.
Yeah, definitely.
Of course. I don't know what it would be called, but I don't there would definitely be a song made after that.
Do you have any reasoning for this, or it's just a belief?
I think that him being a NFL player and her being obviously one of the biggest pop stars in the world, I think their schedules are so busy that they almost just don't have time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair enough. It could definitely
It has
happen.
nothing to do with the fact that they'll get into like a fight or they're just like not made for each other. It's just literally, I think that they're so busy that they might just not see each other and they're honestly just like, yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, this is my last bold take, and I think it might be the spiciest one of them all.
Okay.
Again, if I had to put money on it, if life or death, I'm not betting on this, but to be super bold, I'm gonna say the LA Rams finish top of the NFC and Matt Stafford wins MVP.
I think I said Matt Stafford is my hot take. Remember when we did MV I asked you MVP and you said give
Yeah,
me a sleeper? I think I said Stafford
you did. I said Goff, but you said Matt Stafford. I like it. Honestly,
if he's healthy. He's
it's
got to
health
stay healthy.
big thing. Big health is big thing just for every player on this team, really.
True.
Puka, Cup. But if when they were playing together, it looked unstoppable. Plus, you had Kyron Williams in there. Their defense is still pretty good. And Matt Stafford he doesn't have the legs, obviously, but he's got the ability to launch the ball. And when you got Puka and Cooper Cup, um, the you could he's going to rack up yards this year, and the MVP goes to a person with a good record. So I think for this to be possible, they'd have to finish very high, which is why I'm adding they finish top of the NFC. But they definitely have the team to do it. Obviously, San Fran's in the division, which is going to make it difficult. But um, I'm not sure what's going on in San Fran with Brandon Ayuk. I think he's going to be back, but at this
Seems
point,
like
because the
it.
trade hasn't happened, but. I'm gonna say the Rams finish top of the NFC and Matt Stafford wins MVP along with it, averaging. I don't want to say averaging, but I think he leads the league in passing yards
Hmm.
and
Okay.
passing TDs. We'll add that to it.
Okay.
Big Matt Stafford year.
Big Matt Stafford, yeah.
That's my last one. Do you got
Yeah,
another one?
I got no more. I mean,
You got.
I could probably think of one.
Oh well, we could definitely think of some,
I
but
could be here for a while.
exactly.
I
There's
guess I think me having the Bills not making the playoffs was a hot take enough in our record prediction.
yeah, that'll do it for sure. Definitely we'll get some reaction there. But so there was voting they did on about quarterbacks. I think this was voted on by players in the NFL.
Okay.
You did not see this, which is
I did
good. I'm
not.
going to ask you the questions and you give me um what you think the answers are, and then I'll tell you what the actual answers are. So this was from anonymous players, 103 players voted anonymously. Who are the biggest trash talking quarterbacks?
Oh, I know the answer to this one because I saw it on Twitter. Just this
Yeah,
one.
it was going all over the place,
Just
but
this one. That's the only one I saw.
yeah, fair enough.
It was Josh Allen.
It gives the top five. Do you think you can name
Oh,
any?
I feel
Josh
like
Allen received 26 votes.
is he first?
He's first, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Lamar's probably got to be up there.
Lamar did, I don't know if he's on here. The person in fifth got 4 votes, so he
Oh,
got
jeez.
less than 4 votes.
Dak?
Dak is not on here. I feel like these answers are pretty like self-explanatory if once you thought about them.
Do any of these are all these quarterback starters?
All these quarterbacks are starters. Yeah, only one of them left is in the NFC. The NFC one's probably the easiest one to get to, if you actually think about it. In your division,
Oh, definitely Baker.
Baker's number two with 17 votes. Yeah.
That one's self-explanatory after
Yeah.
you.
Baker's a pretty good trash talker.
AF so the other three are in the or the other three are in the AFC.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could
Very
see
good votes.
honestly, I could see Aaron Rodgers being up there.
Aaron Rodgers is number three with 15 votes.
Okay.
Also rounding it out is Patty Mahomes with 11 and Joe Burrow with 4.
Okay.
They kind of make
Interesting.
sense. You can hear I could definitely see Allen, Mayfield, and Rodgers though. That makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. Mahomes probably just because he gets chirped by the most, so he has to fight back a little bit,
Fair
but
enough. Yeah.
it makes sense. Who is the most underrated quarterback in the league? There's a couple
Well, in my
surprises.
eyes, it's Jared Goff.
Jared Goff is number 4, tied for number 3 with 7 votes.
Okay. What does the first place guy have?
14 tied. There's 2 of them tied with
There's two
14.
tied. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
These ones are
no.
kind of surprising. This is harder. This is definitely
These are
harder.
definitely harder.
Yeah. Every single
Is
one.
Jordan Love on there?
Jordan Love is also tied in third for 7. Yeah. Every
Okay.
single one's an NFC quarterback.
Really?
The AFC is so stacked. It's hard to be underrated.
Fair enough.
Like
Is Kirko in there?
Kirk is tied for third with 7. You've got there's 4 guys tied for third with 7. You got 3 of them.
So do I only have first and second left?
First and second and the last guy tied for third.
Oh, okay. Um, NFC.
I'll go till you strike out and then I'll give you them. But you're 3 for 3 right now.
NFC. Oh my God, I'm gonna.
Last 3 are the hardest for sure. Even
I
though
don't
they're
think
tied for
is
first.
Purdy in there?
Purdy's number 1, 14
Okay.
votes.
Okay.
He tied for 1
Is
with one.
the second place guy in the same division?
Uh, he is.
Is it Stafford?
It is Stafford, tied for first with 14 votes. You're 5 for 5. There's one guy left. I don't think you'll get it.
Another NFC guy?
Another NFC guy. I wouldn't have said this, but
It's definitely it can't be Derek Carr.
I don't know.
Is it
I
Derek
might be
Carr?
convinced. It's not Derek Carr.
Oh, I was gonna
It's
say that'd be
Bryce Young.
gross. Bryce Young?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a rookie.
Maybe because he was the first overall pick and was on a bad team. People are giving him hate and everyone's saying that he's underrated, but
Hmm.
I don't really see that one. But hey,
Not yet,
that's
at
just
least.
me.
He's got to have if he has a good year this year and he all of a sudden people are sweeping it under the rug, then sure.
I agree. So we're going from all NFC to basically all AFC. A
Yep.
most overrated quarterback. Every single person's in the AFC but one.
I feel like Deshaun's got to be up there.
Deshaun Watson is not up there. There's
Really?
5 quarterbacks up here.
Is Lamar up there?
Lamar is not up there. No.
Okay. Tua?
He'll like number 1 probably. Two is
Tua?
number 2 with 10
Oh,
votes.
please tell me Josh Allen's number one.
Josh Allen's number 1 with 11
Yeah.
votes. Yeah,
Um, is there any more or is it? Oh no, he's in the NFC. Oh, that would have
there is
almost
one
been really bad.
NFC guy,
Is it Daniel Jones?
not Danny Dimes.
Is it Dak?
No, they're all very good quarterbacks.
So okay. Is
But
Joe Burrow in there?
Joe Burrow's not up there. No,
Okay.
everyone loves Joe.
I have one and two.
Yeah, 3's an NFC guy. 4 and 5 are
Is
AFC guys that did not make playoffs last year, but good quarterbacks.
is Trevor Lawrence one of them?
Trevor Lawrence is one of the people. He's 5 with 8
Okay.
votes.
People don't like Trev.
People don't like Trev, apparently.
Another AFC guy. Oh my God, what's that? What division is that?
You've been attached to this guy.
Justin Herbert's got to be there.
Justin Herbert is there. The last guy is
I
in
disagree with that, but I
Fair
can
enough.
still people see he's overrated. Last guy's
The
NFC.
the last guy's NFC was on a playoff team last year.
Is it
Very
Baker
good.
again?
Not Baker, no.
What's in the playoffs? Is it Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts is tied for second with Tua with 10
Okay.
votes.
Hmm.
Um, this one's pretty easy. Rookie quarterback to have the best career.
Is it Caleb?
If you can go in order, there's only 3 votes. Caleb
Rookie.
Williams is number 1 with 34.
Well, then it's got to be. Oh, wait, it's got to be Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels is number 2, only 4 votes behind him.
I feel like Drake May is not gonna be the third though.
I don't know. You got to tell me.
Is it gonna be JJ?
You tell me. Pick a
Oh, it's
guy.
Penix.
You're going Panics?
No, it's probably I don't know.
Give me a name.
Yeah, I'll go JJ McCarthy final answer.
It is JJ McCarthy numbered with 10 votes, so good job there. Um, Current top 3 quarterbacks, all AFC.
Okay, one Pat.
One is Patty Mahomes.
I'm gonna say Lamar's in there because he won MVP last year.
Lamar is number 2.
Yeah.
The space between 1 and 2 is a ton. Like
So
it's not
people, what's the space between two and three?
um a pretty good amount actually. But
Is three Josh Allen?
3 is not Josh Allen.
Is it
He's
Joe
overrated.
Burrow?
It is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. Okay, this is last one. Probably the easiest one of them all. There are
Okay.
2 answers. The guy in first has basically every vote but a couple. Who is the greatest of all time?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady got 85 of 103 votes.
Oh wow.
And who's number two?
Is it another quarterback?
It is. It's all about quarterbacks today.
So I'm between two guys,
Okay.
Peyton Manning
Okay.
or Joe Montana.
Okay.
But I also all these guys are current, so I'm thinking it might be a current player too.
Could be. I'm not giving any hints away. I want to see what you
I'm
think.
gonna I'm gonna go Peyton Manning.
It is not Peyton Manning.
Is it Joe Montana?
It is not Joe Montana.
Is it a current guy?
It is a current guy.
Okay. It, I really hope it's not Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know.
Who's another old quarterback? I feel like majority of the quarterbacks in the NFL these days are young.
Yeah, they are. We got a lot of young QBs.
Okay, screw it. We'll go A-Rod.
It's not A-Rod.
Who am I? It's Patrick Mahomes.
It's Patty Mahomes. He
Yeah.
got so Brady had 85, Mahomes has 7. So that's
So some
92 votes, which means there were 11 other votes casted for other quarterbacks, but we do not get
hmm,
any of the other votes. Um,
interesting.
I do actually, we're bouncing around a lot of sports. If you want to bounce around again,
Let's
I
bounce.
I did also see a post where ESPN ranked current NBA players' chances of the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I saw this.
Did you?
I don't think I saw the full list, but I saw like Bleacher Report post like like
You
the
did
most.
like the post.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you if you agree with the I'm gonna ask you you give me higher or lower than the percent it gives, what
Okay.
you would rank, and then say if you we don't have to go like in depth, but say higher, lower, and then if you think they'll make the Hall of Fame by the end of their career or not.
Okay.
Derrick Rose currently sits at 10.5%.
Yeah. The only reason he's up that high is because he's got an MVP.
So do you think he makes Hall of Fame?
No,
Do you think his chances are higher or lower than 10%?
I think they're fair.
That's a fair
I think
rating.
it's a fair rating.
Drew Holiday's 1.7% chance.
I think he's got to be higher than D Rose just based off the defensive teams and the championship. So I definitely think higher.
Do you think he gets in?
No.
Fair enough. Clay Thompson is sitting at 70%.
See, he's only up there for championships. Like I would honestly consider him and Drew Holiday to be even. So I'm definitely think lower.
Okay, fair enough. Do you think he gets in?
Yes.
You think he gets in? Okay. Uh,
Maybe could be undeserved in my that might be another hot take. I know we're doing NFL hot takes, but that could be another hot take.
could be a hot take just because he is one of the best shooters of all time,
Yeah.
but that probably adds to it. Um, Going to another Warrior, Draymond Green, 77%.
Yeah, I'm okay with Draymond being there. I think he'll get in. He was a defensive player of the year. Yeah, I think it's a fair number.
And you think he gets in by the end
I
of
think
it?
he'll get in by the end of it.
99.99% chance James Harden.
Yeah, I think the 1% or the 0.1% chance is just a championship. He's got
Yeah,
the
fair enough.
scoring, he's got the MVPs. I think that's a fine number. He'll be there.
Yeah. Nikola Jokic, 98%.
Yeah, 100%. He's got three MVPs now. And he's got a
Something.
championship. I would honestly be okay with him being at 100% right now.
Yeah, I think this one's kind of a layup. The only 100%er on this list
Chris
is
Hall.
CP3.
Yeah, 100%. I would like to see him. I don't think he'll get one, but it would be nice to see him get a chip before he retires in the next year or two. But
Gonna be fun
um,
to see him lobbing to
Wemby,
Vic. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
I'm interested to see what you think about this one. 66% chance Joel Embiid.
Yeah, honestly, I've never been a big fan of Embiid. Do I think I don't see he's got an MVP, but he also is injured all the time. I
No
think
playoff success.
no playoff. I think 60% is good. I do think he'll get in by the end of his career, but again, it could be one of those undeserved ones that I'm not the biggest fan of just because I don't like him as a player.
It is it is normally the obviously it's still a great honor, but I feel like the Hall of Fame for the NBA is a
One of the
lot bigger
easier ones.
than most other sports.
Yeah.
Um, 41% chance for Luka Doncic.
Yeah, honestly, he hasn't. He's obviously we know he's a great player, but he doesn't have any awards, which is his main issue so far. I think he's gonna get an MVP or two by the time he's done. I think he'll get at least one um championship. So I think honestly, at the point of his career, I'd give him right now. I give him 50-50. So I think maybe 40 is a bit low, but I think Luca will be a Hall of Famer whenever he retires.
Yeah, fair enough. I think this one's interesting. 24% chance Al Horford.
Yeah, see, Al's a weird one because I didn't really watch him in his prime. Like I only really started watching him whenever he was sort of on the stout those Celtics teams near the end. He did get his championship. I think he's one of those players that's sort of like is a Hall of Good player, where he's one of the better players to play in this generation, but he's not good enough to make it to the fame Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's a good take. I've got three more, two layups, and then one I'm pretty interested about.
Okay.
99% Giannis.
Yeah, he's got the MVPs. He's got the championship. I think I would be again same. He's kind of same with Jokic. I'd be fine if you gave him 100% right now.
99.9 for Russ.
Yeah, triple double, most triple doubles in NBA history. I think that alone gets him in, and he's got MVPs. It's Anthony and James Harden. That 0.1% is the championship.
Yeah. And then to finish it off, I got an interesting one. 46%. This one's gonna hit home a little bit. DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, obviously he's got a lot of all-stars. He doesn't have a championship. He doesn't have very many personal awards. Again, he's probably one of those Hall of Good players where he's been a great player this generation, got all-star votes. Never won anything personal. Doesn't have any championships. Well, yeah, one in Sacramento, maybe. They do have a decent team on paper, but I don't think he'll get in.
Yeah, he's just always been on not great teams, unfortunately.
Yep.
But yeah, that's all I got for the NBA talk.
Yeah,
We're just
so we got 4 minutes left.
cool.
Um, quickly, give me one quarterback, one running back, and one wide receiver you are staying away of in fantasy drafts.
So my quarterback is Josh Allen,
Me
just because
too.
it's it's it's
It's
it's just because he's the first quarterback taken. All of his wide receivers are yet to be seen or haven't performed great in the past. Plus the players that you would have to skip on to draft Josh Allen are top of the line wide receivers, top of the line running backs. He's going in like the second round or third round, I believe. So that's a high price to pay for a quarterback that you're not sure of his weapons. Um, so we'll see about that. My running back, oh, that's a tough one. Do you want to talk about Josh, or do you want to
So
pick one in the?
the only thing I'll add on Josh is the fact that he you mentioned he doesn't have any very many receivers, but he also throws a lot of interceptions. So I don't think that it'll go hand in hand very well this year. Not having any weapons and throwing a lot of picks. My running
Mhm.
back is actually a running back you drafted first round in our keeper league. It's Kyron.
Yeah,
Um, I was actually out on him before I heard this news, but now that they're going to be using him as a punt returner, I think that's even worse because I think that means that he's not going to be used as much in the run game. Not that he's going to be invisible, but I think that the fact that he is going to be a punt returner will sort of give more snaps to Blake Corum, the rookie out of Michigan. And I wasn't last year. Obviously, Kyron got like 70% of the snap share. So and then he eventually did get hurt. So I knew he wasn't gonna be able to do the exact same thing this year and not get hurt. So that is the reason I'm staying away from him. And then my wide receiver is gonna be Debo. Even if Ayuk is traded, I'm staying away from Debo Samuel just because of his injury history. Um, and I'm gonna say that George Kittle it finishes as a number one tight end this year. So I think Kittle has a big year. And I think that sort of the Debo's gonna be have a bad year based off injuries. So those are the three sort of players I'm staying away from.
Yeah, I'll go very quick so I know we don't got a lot of time. I'm going the running back four and the wide receiver four. I'm going Saquon Barkley as my running back just because I think he's going to get a ton of work. I still think he's going to be a beast. The biggest thing is though where you get all your points is touchdowns, and we see that Jalen Hurts loves to
Push
put it in.
push.
He loves to get the touch push. He likes to score that touchdown at the end of a drive. So I feel like he will steal some touchdowns from Saquon. Obviously, he's still going to have the big breakout runs, but it won't be the same. And then the wide receiver four I'm avoiding is Jamar Chase, just for the fact that he's not attending practice still. I'm sure a contract's going to be done before the season starts, but at this current point, he doesn't have a contract. And just if you're drafting today, the fact that you don't know if your wide receiver one is going to start week one is got to be a little nerve-wracking. So
It made
he's,
me so friggin' happy when I saw CD got paid the other day. I was actually kind of scared
I'm
for
sure you were.
keeper league.
Those are my guys. All right.
Yeah. We have a minute left, so I guess we'll wrap it up there. Next week we will be in different setups. We'll be in North Bay as school is beginning yet again. But if you guys enjoyed, make sure you leave a like to subscribe and never miss another weekly episode. And we will be back next week.
We made it. Next podcast, week one.